Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you guys some more fun, maybe kind of weird facts about myself. I've done this video before, maybe 2 years or so ago. All I know is I went back and watched it and I look like a completely different person. You can see a lot more of my tattoos, but I think this is fun to share, just like little quirky things about myself so that you guys can know the real me. In my last video, I talked about, liking the smell of skunk and hating to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So if you want to check that one out, I'm going to link it down below, but I have gathered a few more little quirky things about me or some just fun facts, so I thought I would share them with you guys today. The first one is nothing weird, but it's been talked about a lot recently since I did my haul video and since I went to IMATS. I am 5'9". A lot of people, when they first meet me, they're just like, oh my gosh, they're shocked. I think everyone thinks that I'm like this little bitty person, but I mean, you're only seeing this much of me on camera anyway, but yes, I am 5'9", and my husband, you see pictures of us together, he is 6'4". So I look a little bitty beside him, but he's 6'4" and I am 5'9". Here's a weird one for you. I am completely turned off, like freaked out by pictures, promotions, or anything like that of people holding like flat irons or curling irons in their hair. And a lot of times, you'll see them on the boxes of the actual product, or you see them in the ad campaigns and magazines and they're curling their hair, but like, I know that they're not burning their hair off. Like I'm not, I can comprehend that that's not actually happening. It's probably not even turned on when the picture is being taken. But because I'm seeing this person with their hair in the item, whether it be the flat iron or the curling iron, and it's just sitting there, all I can think about is their hair frying off and like literally just coming off. I can't get it out of my head. I hate seeing pictures like that. They rub me all kinds of something wrong. I suffer from PTSD and a sensory disorder. So I talked about in my last video that I didn't like, there's certain touches that I didn't like, misophonia, there's sounds and stuff. And somebody in the comment section, either of that video or later on, told me that I had a sensory disorder. I was like, no, I don't. Like, what are you talking about? I do not have a sensory disorder. Well, yes, I do. And it's the explanation behind why I don't like soft touches. Excuse me. I've been talking too much, but I do like rougher touches. That sounds horrible, but like I thoroughly enjoy getting tattooed. Getting tattooed is like a massage for somebody else. Whereas if you touch me lightly, it makes me want to punch you in the face. I cannot stand it. If you tickle me, it angers me to absolutely no end. I just never really put things together. I believe it was my hairstylist that made me think about it because I don't like my face touched. You can't touch my face. And she was like, you really should look that up. And so I started off with, the whole don't touch face thing. And then it progressed into the whole thing of a sensory disorder, and I talked to the doctor about, they're like, yep, that would be it. And with PTSD, that is mainly with my knee. I can't watch movies where there's a lot of violence or like anything that, I feel like everything has gotten a lot more, not gory, but just angry and fighting and things happening to knees and shoulders, and I just feel uncomfortable in talking about it. I don't like people walking behind me because I don't like it. I have a whole lot of little itty bitty issues that if you're ever around me, you'll notice me doing little things that you're like, what is she doing? And that's why, because I have to control my anxiety and PTSD and moving like myself around and trying to also battle the misophonia sensory thing. Like I am a strange, very strange individual. This one makes me laugh because up until recently, and I want to say like a month ago recently, I thought Fortnite was like literally like adults getting together and making forts. I kid you not. This is how sheltered I am. I'm always at home. I'm always at home, you guys. I have no idea what's going on in the world. So it wasn't until I look at iFunny before I go to sleep. So I'll sit there and I watch iFunny. I scroll through a meme app. And I finally realized that Fortnite was a game and not where people actually made forts. Because, you know, in my house, I have 4 kids and they're putting blankets over top of chairs and the TV and their bunk beds and all that. To me, that's Fortnite. You know, that's what Fortnite is. I did not realize it was a game until very recently. And that's that was like the deciding factor for me that I knew I had to make this video, because I was like, this is what goes on in my head. I think Fortnite is legit Fortnite. I have a phone charger directly behind my head when I lay my little head on my pillow at night, and somehow or another, I still wake up with a dead phone. And that is because I absolutely refuse to plug the bad boy in. I don't know what it is about at nighttime. I'm just like, I don't want to do it. It could be on 5% after looking at iFunny, and I will not turn over and plug in my phone. I won't do it. I think I just remedied this by buying one of those like flat chargers so that you just like put your phone on there. But my husband drilled a hole in our bed frame, all these things so that I could have a charger on the bed, and yeah, I still don't use it. I have no idea why. It's like some kind of inconvenience for me to, you know, turn around and plug it in, even though it's this far from my head. I don't know why. This one to me is a little strange, I will admit, but I am extremely uncomfortable around women that are taller than me. I don't know what it is. Like, even if it's just because they're wearing heels, like you could be 5'8" and then wearing heels and I'm having to look up at a woman, it freaks me out. I don't know. I feel very uncomfortable. My boss, when I first started working at Mac a long time ago, she wasn't my height, but she would wear these heels and I would have to look up at her, and it bothered me. And I never realized how much it bothered me until every time she wore heels, I felt uncomfortable. And it wasn't like I felt uncomfortable around her, but I started to notice then, even like if it was somebody who was actually taller than me, any woman who is taller than me and I'm looking up at them, I feel uncomfortable. And not like I don't know how to explain it, not like in a I feel inferior way, but just like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm a back up. Like I don't really even get that close to the person when I'm talking to them. I kind of set back a little bit. It is the strangest thing. My husband thinks it's funny, but you know, and I look up at him all the time. But I think it's just women. So if I'm looking up at a woman, it freaks me out. I don't know why. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. I am an artist, so I rarely share this information because, I don't know, haven't drawn in a long time. I'll insert some like random little things here or there that you guys can see. I used to love to draw. I used to, draw all the time, and especially when I would have my surgeries and stuff, I would sit there with a sketchbook, but I couldn't tell you now, like the last time I've drawn anything. And I think maybe it's because makeup has kind of taken over my art form, but yes, I am an artist, and I think that's another reason why I have so many tattoos, is because I thoroughly enjoy not only the pain, it's not painful for me, but the feeling of getting tattooed, but the art behind it, I absolutely love. While I work out here at home, I always listen to Judge Judy. So it's funny, my daughter has gotten into Judge Judy as well, because she'll come in there while I'm doing like my ball exercises or that squat machine or whatever. And she thinks that Judge Judy is funny because she'll say some things that I say, like, isn't an answer or something like that. There's some times where Judge Judy is just plain downright rude, but I don't know, there's just something about like the cases and then some of these people, and you really came to court for this. But I love listening to Judge Judy while I am working out. It's like, I can't, if I don't have something else to take my mind off of working out, I don't enjoy working out. So I love listening to her while I'm working out. And I recently heard Mikey, Glamagore Mikey, saying that she does too, and I got so excited. Of course, she like goes to the gym and like she's hardcore, but I just thought it was so funny. I was like, me and Mikey, we got something in common. I once lived in a foyer. Literally lived in a foyer. So this was a time in my life where I had moved to Tennessee and I was struggling with trying to find a doctor to fix my knee. The knee is a whole nother story. I had nothing. I literally had nothing, but I did have a really good friend who took me in, even though she did not. Sorry, it's like my voice wants to run away. But I had a really good friend who took me in, even though she had no room in her house. I literally lived in a foyer, so we blocked off her room, like the door was her room, the front door, and then there was a way into the living room, and I had like, the room was smaller than this room right here, and it's just a bed, and there's a little computer right there, and I was squished inside a foyer. She never used her foyer to actually come in and out of the house. She used the side door. So I slept there for, I don't know, it was a while, and I went into anaphylactic shock at her house, and she saved my life because I kept wanting to go back to sleep, and I was like throwing up and it going back down my throat because, well, my throat was closing up. My lips were huge. I was having a reaction to one of the medications for my knee. But I lived in a foyer, and this girl saved my life. And that was just like one of the times in my life that make me extremely grateful for where I am now. So I meant to talk about this when I actually was talking about my sensory disorder and talking about how I really enjoyed getting tattooed. In my last video, I talked about that I was no longer going to be able to get tattooed, and I followed that rule for a while. But you're not supposed to get tattooed with a replacement. I had a partial replacement at that time on my knee, and now I have a full replacement. But I've decided that I just kind of want to live my life. I finally am able to do things that I haven't been able to do in the past. And I know that getting a tattoo is risky, but as long as, you can take antibiotics, there's certain ways that you can, I've done some research, certain ways that you can heal them to really minimize your risk of anything getting into it and then causing an infection. I've just decided that I want to live my life. I'm 32 years old, and I haven't been able to do things for so long that there's certain things that I'm just no longer willing to let be taken away from me. Like, I'm going to continue to ride my bike, and I'm going to continue to get tattooed, but I'm just going to do them in a smart fashion. So there's that. I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, I'm going to call your doctor when I got my Chuckles Charlie tattoo, but I was like, I don't care, call him. Go ahead. I love to do small acts of kindness. So let's say I'm going to tell you this one time. So I like to go, and in the mornings, if I go to McDonald's to get a sausage and cheese biscuit, I love them. I also will pay for the guy behind me, whoever it is, I don't care. But then usually I take off out of the parking lot pretty quickly because I don't want the thank you. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I just want to do it and leave and just like make somebody's day happy, just start off on a good foot. And I want to tell you guys this one little story because this is hilarious. I had just had dental work, and I was with my daughter, and I drive a little bit more of a sporty car. There's a cop beside me, and my car takes off a little faster in general, but I didn't get on it, but I went like I normally would go. And we go through, the cop's fine, he's behind me, I'm doing 5 over, I always do 5 over. And then all of a sudden the cop, it starts to go from 2 lanes down to spreads out because you can start turning. He goes from all the way over here to all the way beside my car and rolls down his window. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in trouble. But I just had all this dental work done. So if I smile, you can't see me smile. My face is like frozen because of all the Novocaine and this and that. So he rolls down his window. He says, ma'am. And I was like, yes, sir. And he said, you paid for my breakfast about a month ago, and I just caught up with you, and I wanted to tell you thank you. And I started to laugh, but I couldn't move my face. And he looked at me like I was crazy. You know, I didn't know that it was a cop. He was in, I've never paid for a cop's stuff knowingly. Like, they had to have been in their normal car whenever it happened. So I am laughing and I'm like, oh, you're welcome. But my face isn't moving. And I see that he is kind of looking at me a little strange. And I'm like, yeah. Novocaine. Yep. Yeah. Thank you. I was like, have a nice day. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed some of my quirky little things. Leave me something down below and make sure you check out the first video. I feel like the first video was even funnier because, like I said, I like the smell of skunks, so there's that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.